like 5 windows of where send text messages, the web messages.
I'm starting to see more political stuff on Facebook than I usually do.
Mm.
I'm not going to worry about that right now.
I just scroll by it.
We're gonna some. The screen capture is lovely. It's like we're both behind the pixelated, the blurred out logo. Try that again. There we go.
All right.
It's either us or the Packers tonight. If you're a Packers fan, watch us later.
Been doing a lot of 3D printing lately. I'm gonna print something tonight. The little chute that catches the stuff coming out the back.
Mm-hmm.
I actually forgot to print one. That was going to be one of the first things I was going to do, and I started doing all this other stuff, and then went, "Oh wait!" So I looked behind the printer. There's like stuff everywhere.
Yeah, a pile of the spaghetti.
Yeah, I saw one. I've got some magnets, some little round magnets. I think we used for costume at Dragon Con or something. And I saw one print. You depending on the size of your magnet, you print out the plate for it, and it's a slide that goes down and around the corner, but uses the magnets to hold on to the printer itself. So it has divots you can put the magnets in, and then it has a tray on the side, and the tray I could just reach over, pick the tray up, dump it, and stick it back. So I think I might go for that one. So it's going to take about 4 hours to print, it says. So.
Yep. You have to print your own accessory. Some assembly required.
I do enjoy doing that, though. Well, actually, with the Elegoo that I had, the first thing it wanted you to do was, or it came with a tool holder, so you would print it out, and it snaps onto one of the rails.
Mm-hmm.
Not the rail that moves, but the stationary one, and it's not touching anything; just holds onto it, and then it's a place to put the tools that came with the printer, like the little snipper, Allen wrenches, and a scraper, I think. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Shall we get started?
Sure.
All right. So if you're joining us for the video, that was the sound check.
Yeah, check. Yeah, there you go.
Make sure I have the SD card in the recorder, and here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 784, The Great Algorithm Bake Off. Hello and welcome to Technorama. My name is Chuck Tomasi. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. And right over there joining me is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Chuck?
Having a good week.
Wait, is this the right side now?
No. Yes.
That was it?
Or what I see on the screen. You can go back and watch it tomorrow.
So you're in my window. You're in my window. That's what it is.
Just put a sticker of me over there or something.
What I should do is get a little LCD LCD monitor and put you over there, literally. So
if that's what it takes, man, to learn your right from your left.
That's not the.
Hold on.
I know my right and left.
The one that makes it L is a left.
I know that, but it's just the mirroring. I think I turned it off.
Turn off mirroring. I've told you that 100 times.
I did.
Okay, good. We're still on that shtick, people. 784. Here we go.
I know.
Hey, our Adam Savage podcast interview released on Friday. Getting some great feedback about that. Thank you, everybody, for that. Appreciate everybody who's viewed it and passed it on and shared it and liked it and subscribed. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much for joining us. We've been doing this for about 20 years.
Yeah.
You're not late. We're just getting started. What was that?
As a matter of fact, somebody at work said, "Oh, what a great snag to get Adam Savage on your podcast." And I was like, "Yeah, it was a lot of fun to talk to him again." He said, "Again?" I said, "Yeah, we interviewed him like 20 years ago." I said, "I'm a 20-year podcaster." He's like, he had no idea we went back that far. He's obviously aware of the show, but yeah, he didn't know. That's pretty
Were you
interesting.
podcasting when Jesus was around?
Matter of fact, we interviewed him. No,
He had a lot of stories to tell.
yeah, I'm sure he does. But yeah, it was fun talking with Adam, and it's about as fun as it was the first time we talked to him because he likes to tell stories and ruminate when you throw a question at him, and
Yep.
it's fun to see his wheels start turning. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, and every once in a while, one of his stories would intersect something in the workshop. So he'd pick up his laptop. Oh, I gotta show
Yeah.
you this over here.
I know it was very much like his live streams. If you ever watch those,
Yeah.
he sometimes he every once in a while he'll pick it up and go show something, and then it was funny to watch him do that a couple times with us.
Hello, Mike Robinson.
Yarp.
Yarp? It's a Yarp question, so it's Yarp.
Yeah. Yarp.
Mike is one of our regulars on the Sunday night live stream. We'd love to see you here, 8:30 Eastern time. We'll give you more details a little bit later in the show. Right now, we are going to move on to the part of the show where we get some listener/viewer feedback.
Letters, oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say. Oh boy, mailman, mail today.
All right, we've got a question of the week from last week. Go ahead.
Stupid Facebook. I said we didn't get any responses, and then I went from most
Most relevant
recent or whatever, and then I changed it all, and oh, there they are.
I saw that too. It's like the little speech bubble said 5. I'm like, I only see 1.
Yeah.
And then changed it to all. Like, what? What kind of stupid? Speaking of the algorithm
Hey,
bake-off, Facebook,
even-
you lose.
It even says at the top, no comments yet. Be the first comment. Loading guys night. And it's
really?
right- It does.
Mine had a 5, and yeah, I thought that was frustrating. Like, how many
Almost-
comments are you not seeing on
I'm gonna
Facebook?
save that screenshot.
Let's
I'll
get
show you later.
started. The question of the week is, what's the most useless / obsolete piece of technology you own, and why haven't you thrown it away yet or e-cycled it? Well,
there's some things that I can't put my finger on it now, but there's some things I've got that I just keep it around because nostalgia, I guess.
Lone Guy's Nice says, a 90s era iMac. I need to remove any parental identifiers before recycling it. He hasn't wiped the hard drive yet, is what he's saying.
90s era. Actually, you know what? I was just thinking I've got a MacBook Pro from my old job, but it was like a 2007
Yep.
MacBook Pro, I think it is. I turn it on every once in a while. It pops up. Fritz Oich Seward says, the old VHS tapes I inherited from my father. There aren't any family videos on them, but they do contain some classic movies, comedies, and cartoons. I still cling to the illusion or delusion that I'll digitize them someday. A big attic is a blessing and a curse. Yeah.
That it is. That it is. I've got a few VHS that I won't let go, like the original KTMA Mystery Science Theater 3000 when they're still in public access.
Mm-hmm.
They're really grainy
Oh.
because they've been copied and copied.
Yeah, I think I've still got the video. It was right after Harrison was born. He was on Tech TV on the screensavers and with his little 2.0 onesie thing on. Yeah.
Little Harrison.
Yeah.
We'll have to just digitize that little clip.
Yeah.
John Kratzer says an 80s era Mac classic, nostalgia, Motorola pager, and first brick cell phone. Ooh.
Oh, wow. Yeah, those were cool. Or back in the day, they were cool. Mike Robinson says, depending on how you are defining technology, quote unquote, I have a katana. One of those looks cool on the wall, but would be completely useless and actually use art pieces. There you go.
All right. Katanas are technology.
Yeah, they had to build them somehow.
Right. It was
Yeah.
it was a step up from the knives and
Rocks.
sharp edge.
Just throwing rocks.
Obsidian only gets you so far, right?
Right? Yeah.
Mike Robinson has another one. He says Commodore VIC-20, first useful piece of modern technology in quotes.
True. Yeah, I got a Commodore 64 back there and a disk drive and discs
goodness.
go with it.
I shared it and got a few responses as well.
Mhm.
So Mark McCoy says, just found out the other day my original keyboard out of my old TI 99 4A. No idea why I kept it.
Wait a minute. He
Just the
found the keyboard, the original keyboard out of his old TI. Did he replace the keyboard? Because
I
that
don't
was a
know.
one-piece
There's a
unit.
story in there somewhere. I was thinking
That was
the
a
same thing.
one-piece unit, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would you be doing just the keyboard?
Yeah. All right. So Steve London says, I have a Swatch Beat watch, which I joke about that every once in a while on the show. And I have a big box full of cables. And the one box in case of I need a
A SCSI or an
a SCSI or an RS-232 interface cable or a printer cable, whoever knows.
Yes, I need a parallel cable.
Yeah. And Melissa said, doesn't everyone have a random cable box? I know we do. And I'm pretty sure I can even have cables for devices we no longer own.
Yep.
I know I did. I think I finally got rid of most of them. I split them up. What happened was I had them all in one box. And after turning them over, looking for the right cable I wanted, after a while, it was literally a big tangled ball of wires. I was like,
I had a
"Man."
big box of cables. You know how I solved that problem? I sorted them out into multiple boxes of cables.
Yeah.
When you own
Yeah.
a podcasting studio and you've been doing this for 20 years, you have a box full of XLRs, a box full of quarter-inch cables, a box full of eighth-inch cables.
Well,
Wow, there's just too many
actually,
of them.
yeah, I got some the Sterilite kind of
Yep.
containers, and I did like any of the audio cables I kept. Any other cables for things that I didn't really need anymore, they ditched them, with the exception of a couple. And then I separated all my USB cables. So
Yep.
I got I actually split these into two sections. I got a little piece of cardboard in the middle, and it's got some of them have USB cables, and then I got audio cables on one side. So it's organized. And I tried to keep them from tangling, but the laws of physics, if you put two wires beside each other, they're going to get tangled.
It's
with no
called
help.
Mating.
Yeah.
how
Oh,
power cords
ooh, is that what it is? Ooh.
Yeah. That's how power cords procreate. You could leave 2 power cords under your desk and come back 6 months later, there'd be 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sorted out my USBs like into the little like plastic drawers. So I
Mhm.
have the USB-C drawer, I have the USB micro drawer, and it makes it easier when you're looking for a charger or an extension or whatever it is.
Yeah. Like adapters. I hesitate to, they're small, so I hesitate to throw those out because you never know unless it's for some weird connector on an old device. Like, all right, so the two cables I said I really kept was for my mini DV player because I'm trying to. I also have a plan of digitizing some of those mini
Mhm.
DVs because I got a bunch of tapes. But it had like a couple of um specialized cables that went with the device. But it does have FireWire also, which nothing has FireWire anymore.
Nothing has FireWire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
FireWire was the big promise, and it went away.
I have a FireWire hard drive and cables, but nothing to connect them to.
Right? Yeah. The air, just connect them there.
Melissa Bartell comes back and says, it still functions, but I haven't needed in a decade. An HP 12C financial calculator.
Hmm.
It's designed for mortgage brokers and real estate agents to easily calculate interest. It uses RPN. Remember reverse Polish notation? Absolutely. Which means you enter the operands first. So you say like 40 enter, 20 enter times, and you'll
I
get
was like,
800.
It just reminded me of is you remember I sent you that screenshot of an email, and it has the AI prompt at the very bottom. It says polish. But you said
Yes.
Polish.
Of course, just like recreate and recreate.
I
I
know.
love some of those recreational drugs.
Yeah. All right.
You got
So
another
Gary
one up
Lindros
on there?
says,
Go for
Huh?
it.
all right.
Go for
Gary
it.
Lindros says, I have a Yankee screwdriver, old tech for sure, but it's nice not to charge a battery. Yeah, of course. Electronically, I have 50-year-old multimeter that still works
Yep.
great, and it is supposed to be portable, but those days it's by my bench. I'm sure. Yeah,
I kept my
the
old
only-
multimeter. My brother gave it to me, probably not 50 years old, but it's over 40. And I recently got an electronic one about 2, 3 years ago, but I kept the old one, the analog one with the needle that moves.
well, yeah, why not keep it? And it still works. So,
Yep. If all
Yeah.
you're doing is checking conductivity, it's like, yep, the needle moved.
yeah, like your heartbeat. Oh, he's still alive.
I think it takes a 9-volt battery too, which is
Wow.
not much besides smoke detectors takes
Yeah.
9-volt batteries.
I did buy one not too long. I don't have a vintage one or anything, but I bought one a while back, and it's great. I mean, what voltages don't change, so why if it works,
No.
why did it's not like you
Right.
need an upgrade.
Darren Abbott says, I still have a functional original Nintendo Entertainment System
Wow.
from the late 80s. Also a CRT TV from that era. So I can actually play something on it every few years. I used it to entertain nieces and nephews when they came to visit. They probably went, wow, why is your TV so boxy? Actually never gotten rid of any video game console. I have a collection of them, but the NES is the oldest. Going back a little further than that, I still have a boombox radio and cassette tape system from high school in the early 80s. Should have brought that on the 80s cruise.
Yeah, just walk around with it.
Actually came in handy in 2011 when tornadoes came through and knocked down our power for an entire week. It still functions, probably one of those multi-band ones that has shortwave 1 and shortwave 2 on it.
Yeah, right.
Let's see, where was I? Still function, and it was my only link to news and entertainment since cell phone signal was out too. Even more amazingly, none of the D batteries in it had leaked, and they still had a charge.
I was gonna say it'd be a surprise that after a storm you go, oh great, I got my radio. Oh, do I have D batteries?
And they're in there and they're all corroded white, stuff leaking all over the place.
Yeah, no.
That's always so sad. Okay, we have one more piece of listener feedback. We have a
Okay.
postcard from Yorga.
Oh, look at there.
Yep, just has his name on the back and his address. I think he camped out in his own hometown.
A staycation. That's nice.
It says something in Dutch, but I can't read it. Als vergiet je nooit. That's about the extent of it. But very beautiful picture of a nice, kind of European town with the church tower and
Yeah.
clock tower, some stores and bicycles. Looks a lot like, kind of looks like Ghent where we were, but it says
All those places look alike.
Easy there, buddy.
Actually, when we went to Germany,
Yeah.
In some areas, especially residential areas, there was very big similarity with a lot of the buildings we see in Italy. The way they're designed and pushed together and everything.
Yep.
So I'm kind of joking that they all look alike, but they're in some ways they're similar.
There were influences, of course, especially after you're rebuilding after, fire or something got bombed out or whatever.
War.
That takes care of it for the feedback. We'll give you another question at the end of the show. So hang on. We're not done yet. And we go right into the history.
Right.
On this day in history for October 1st.
Yep.
Oh, man. It's the 274th day of the year. We're about to round the horn and do it all over again, people. There are only 91 days remaining in 2025. It was on this date in 1890 that Yosemite National Park was established by the U.S. Congress.
And that same date in 1891, Stanford University opened its doors in California, United States.
October 1st, 1903. In baseball history, the Boston Americans played the Pittsburgh Pirates in the first game of the modern World Series.
The Boston Americans. That same date in 1908, Ford Model T automobiles were offered for sale at a price of $825 US.
I did a little conversion. 1908. $825. That's like $29,000 today. Wasn't the Ford Model T supposed to be the affordable everyman's car?
Yeah. You can have any color you like as long as it's black.
29 grand is not affordable, in my opinion. Maybe that's if you wanted doors. It was cheaper if you left off a few accessories.
Well, they had to get started selling them, and they got cheaper later, didn't they? No.
I don't know. The George Washington Bridge in the United States was opened, linking New Jersey and New York on this date in 1931.
And also on this date in 1940, that the Pennsylvania Turnpike, often considered the first superhighway in the United States, opened to traffic.
Ooh, and maybe why didn't we call it the Information Turnpike instead of the Information Superhighway
Let's say, imagine all those Ford Model Ts that were going across their.
in 1940? No.
Yeah.
It was on this date in 1947 that the North American F-86 Sabre flew for the first time.
Now, how did I lose my place? Oh, here we go. 67 years ago today, the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics was replaced by NASA.
So it used to be the NACA, now it's the NASA?
Yeah.
Or maybe
Pretty
the
much.
C was pronounced as an S. So we're just going to go from NASA to NASA. It won't
Right.
matter. October 1st, 1961, the CTV Television Network, Canada's first private television network, was launched.
And it was 56 years ago today that the Concorde broke the sound barrier for the first time. I was kind of fascinated with that plane when I was
You
a
gotta-
kid.
I hope they fixed it if they broke it. You broke it, you bought it.
They broke the sound barrier, not the plane.
Also, October 1st, 1971, Walt Disney World opened near Orlando, Florida.
And also today in 1971, the first practical CT scanner was used to diagnose a patient.
A Chuck Tomasi scanner?
Yes, it is a patient.
They named a scanner after me.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did, Chuck.
It was also on this date in 1982 that Sony and Philips launched the compact disc in Japan. On that same day, it's a good thing too, because Sony released the model CDP 101, not being here, compact disc player. Look, we've got this new format of compact disc. Does
Yeah.
it come with a player?
Oh, I'll get back with you on that.
Hang on, it's backstage.
Yeah. So it's 43 years ago today that Epcot Center, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, opened at Walt Disney World in Florida.
Nice reverb echo effect.
Yeah. Turn it off.
24 years ago today, 3G wireless technology first became available when it was adopted by a Japanese telecommunications company, NTT Docomo.
And look, we're on
Aruba,
5G
Jamaica.
now.
Ooh, I want to take you down to Docomo.
Yeah, now we're on 5G. On October 1st, 2003, the popular and controversial English language image board 4chan was launched.
Controversial.
Yes, what I say?
Happy birthday goes out on this date to American engineer and businessman who founded the Boeing Company, William Boeing was born on this date. You know I do that every time.
Yeah.
Born on this date in 1881, William Boeing.
And Edgar Cron, who invented the Cron job app. And,
No.
no.
Not even
Edgar-
spelled the same way.
I know. Edgar Cron, Estonian mathematician and academic, was born on that same date in 1894.
Austrian English physicist and academic Otto Robert Frisch was born on this date in 1904.
And Jose Enrique Morial, Australian physicist and engineer, was born on that same date in 1910.
That doesn't sound like an Australian name, but okay.
Jose.
Jose Enrique.
Yeah.
English mathematician and astronomer and politician, Lord Mayor of Manchester, Kathleen Ollerenshaw was born 113 years ago today.
And born on that same date in 1922, Chinese American physicist, academic, and Nobel Prize laureate Shining Yang.
American game designer and co-creator of Dungeons and Dragons. Here's a trivia question. No, it wasn't Gary Gygax. Dave Arneson was born 78 years ago today.
Yeah, I thought I was going to say Gary, but okay. Born October 1st, 1950, Russian physician and astronaut Boris Morokov.
Hungarian mathematician and educator Eva Tardos is 68 today.
And last but not least, also born on this same date in 1960, American scientist, Doppler on wheels inventor, and storm chaser Joshua Herman.
Listener birthdays. Let's see if we're not going to make it. The music's already going out. Here, let's let them just play out. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 October 1st, which is 101 day. We should just make that national or international
Yeah.
Technorama Day.
Hey, happy 101 day, Chuck.
Happy 101 day. It's also Stephen Weshy's birthday. So happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to Adam Rumke on the 2nd and John Durnholt on the, I said Durnholt,
Yeah.
Jodo on the 6th. Happy birthday to all of them. They were brave enough to go over to chuckchat.com/birthday and put their name on the birthday calendar form. And you can do the same. Even if it's your birthday this week and you're not on the calendar, we wish you all the best. Have a happy birthday. Another go around the sun. You made it. Congratulations for you. And we hope to give you a shout out next time. As long as you go over to chuckchat.com/birthday, put your name on the calendar. Even if it's not until next June, we're good. Paste it up there. We'll see what happens.
And
That's
by the
way
way,
it was. Yeah.
and it is on our if you go to our website, it's right there on the menu too. The birthday
It
calendar.
is.
It
I know
is.
there's a calendar there. Oh, okay. Good. I haven't looked in a while. We're in the process of migrating, so we may make a few cosmetic changes as well. That's the way it was for this day in history for October 1st, 2025. Onward to the news.
Good news, crybabies.
I don't know if it's crybabies, but Voyager 1 is still cruising along 46 years later, 47 years later. And 48, it went up in 1977, and I can't do math right now. It's been a long time. I was a much younger man back then.
Yeah, much younger.
And it has encountered some new information. It's sending back data with what's little left of its instrumentation, and it encountered a wall of fire. One might call it a firewall.
Firewall for the solar system. Yeah.
Where the temperatures rocket to a staggering 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Now,
Wow.
don't get temperature and heat mixed up. Now, heat needs something to transfer, and there are so few particles out there that it's not burning this thing up. It's not going to like burst into flames.
Mhm.
It's just a very hot area. And I read more into this article, and I did a little more research and watched the videos. I was fascinated by this. I can't explain everything because it went a little deep, but they're discovering that the heliopause isn't so much an edge to where the sun's influence, the solar winds end, but it's been
Okay.
sending out all these particles, and it's impacting, or it's interacting with the galactic wind. You've got solar wind and you've got like galactic wind. And the diagrams they showed, I couldn't quite reinterpret these. When you see the magnetosphere of the Earth and the solar winds are kind of blowing it back, you've
Yeah.
got sort of this bow wave and then the solar. That's sort of what it looks like. I'm not sure where these galactic winds are coming from to blow back the heliosphere, heliopause. But they said it's more like a zone that you go through. And now they're coming up to this part that they didn't know exists called the firewall. Also discovered there's an advantage of sending out two probes like this in relatively the same direction. And that's so you can say this is a persistent phenomenon. It's not like when
So you get this. See if you get the same ratings from both.
you can get validation of
'Cause
the data.
They're in
So-
different directions from Earth.
kind of, yeah. I mean, they're both headed off in the same general direction. It's west-ish.
There's one to my left. There's one to my right.
But
Wait.
they are not
Okay.
going in the same dead straight line.
Right.
But I thought this was very fascinating. They of course talked about in the video that I watched how the missions went up, and now they've been out there so long, and they've had to shut down some of the instrumentation so they can keep the critical systems online and keep
Mhm.
sending back radiometric data. It takes 23 hours for a message to get back to us.
Yeah, it's a long time.
They're out at like 14.9 billion miles. Who knows? By the time they hear this, it might be 15. We'll see.
Yeah.
And they said, well, they've been running a long time, a lot longer than we expected. We hope to get one more year out of it. So the expected life of the little, I think,
6 years from now.
plutonium reactors is 2026. But we'll see. They continue to amaze us and
Yeah,
send
6
back
years from now,
really
we'll
cool
be
information.
saying the same. Oh, they expect one more year.
Right. But the article and the videos and whatnot said that this is causing us to rethink what's out there and how it's structured and what are do all stars have this little like protective pocket around them, because it's protecting us from cosmic rays which are coming from
And
outside of
things,
our solar system influence.
cosmic rays and things.
Rays and things, yes. Old joke.
Some inside baseball.
We
Sorry.
should find that episode number so we can just refer, kind of like
Yeah.
John Bell says episode 105 where they introduced, or episode 5 where the cowlets were introduced.
Actually, I probably can search for it because
Probably.
I've got all the transcripts.
We don't have all the show notes from way back when, but we'll see. It was about 10 years ago, maybe 9. Who knows? We could probably find it faster just by searching through with Google Docs. Now, in other space news, we have 3 space articles here.
Yep.
In other space news, the unusual, this is from the debrief.org, unusual 3-eye atlas. That is the a astronomical body that's moving through our solar system right now. And it
Right.
is extremely large, much bigger than they expected. Got confirmation that it's somewhere between 3 and 5 kilometers. And there are some readings that indicate it may not be your traditional dirty snowball comet either. Now, it didn't say whether or not it's on an impact course or not, or when we can observe it. I was like, oh, it was discovered in July, but I want to see this thing. If it's big and it's bright and it's shooting out this big tail, I want to see it.
Can you observe it from Earth? You know, with standard.
We didn't give a whole lot of detail. They were talking more about the constituent opponents and how they aimed JWST at it, and all this stuff, but not really the observable data. So between May and September, more than 4,000 astrometric measurements related to the motion of 3-eye atlas. It's actually 3-eye/atlas, but I'm just shortening it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Were collected from 227 observatories around the world. Based on this data, an upper limit on non-gravitational acceleration from the interstellar comet could be calculated, which was less than 15 meters per day squared. According to the team's study, this finding, with the consideration of the principle of momentum conservation, suggests that gas jets produced on the surface of the object, as it continues to be warmed by the heat of the sun, should result in a measurable push. Based on the current observations, however, the lack of detectable deviation exhibited by the object appears to imply that 3-eye atlas is quite massive. So lots of talk about like that.
Yeah.
I want to know where I can watch it.
Yeah. I don't. That's why I was curious. Can we look at it from Earth, or do we have to look at it from images?
We'll find out and follow up. How's that
Yeah.
for an answer?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Also, we have some dwarf planets out there. You know, Pluto's been demoted from planet to dwarf planet, but we also have other planets, other dwarf planets that are hanging out by Pluto, like Eris and Sedna, and this one, Maki Maki, not Make.
Maki. That's what I thought. Actually, when I was reading this at first, I went, Make. Who
not
named
Make.
that?
It's hanging out there in the Kuiper Belt, and they're saying it has an atmosphere of methane. Like, oh, very cool. Now, it's a very thin atmosphere because the diameter of this planetoid is 890 miles. That's the diameter. So it's about 2/3 the size of Pluto, and it has a moon, which is about 100 miles. Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So they're doing some discovery out there too. They said it's got methane, but they don't frozen methane because it's so far away. But there's some really cool stuff out there.
Oh, there's tons of stuff out there.
Every
Wow,
day
that sounds
you can make a
stupid.
new discovery.
Actually, it just sounds stupid now. But then I heard myself say it. Oh, there's lots of stuff out there.
Just be careful out there. All right, let's jump into the Hacks and Strange Stories. This one is probably one of the. I don't know, I'm surprised this did not come up in my notifications because I subscribe to this channel. It's called the Serial Port on YouTube.
Right.
And this article comes from Tom's Hardware, who did a write-up on this. And then I went and watched the video, which pretty much tracks with the article. But they said, hey, so they were curious and said, could you watch YouTube over dial-up? Like, well, let's do a little math. What's the minimum bits per second you would need to do that? And they went into this whole sidetrack about the definition of broadband used to be 200 kbps and now it's 100 meg.
Mhm.
So in 2024, I think they redefined what quote unquote broadband is.
Yeah.
But 200K was still 4 times faster than your average 56K modem, which was pretty much screaming demon back then.
Yeah.
Then they found multi-link PPP, point-to-point protocol, that would let you bond 2 modems together. Now, not everybody had 2 or more phone lines in their house,
Yeah.
but Windows ME could do this. Windows 98 could do this. Windows XP could do this in a little bit different way. So they fired up a machine with ME on it, and they could get 2 modems working. There was even some specialized hardware that you could put in a
Oh
car.
crap! I got to download drivers.
Yeah, it kind of came down to a driver. They had a lot of technical challenges in this, including setting the dip switches, finding 12 modems that worked. Most of them were USR couriers. Some of them don't have like the faceplate over the LEDs, so it's just
Yeah.
LEDs. Is that modem ready or clear to send? I don't know what we're ready for.
Or even much less have enough serial ports to connect these.
Well, they put in a it wasn't a digicard. That's what they came up with later. It was a oh, what was the card they put in? Not the diamond, that was the 2-port modem. They had a Cisco VoIP gateway that they could service all of the RJ45 connections, the phone connections. And then can't find it. What was the serial port? But they had a multi-port card that gave them 8 ports, and they said, great. They scrounged up about 14 modems, some which didn't work, and they had to go to Multitech and get a couple more of those. They eventually put this all together, but they built it up little by little. They said, first, can we bond 2 of them together? And they eventually settled on a 2004 machine running Windows XP. And it was interesting because when you hit dial, they all dial simultaneously. So all these modems fire up and go. And when they had 12 of them online, about 3 or 4 of them didn't connect properly. But using the MPPP in XP, that's a lot of letters.
Say that 3 times fast.
You could select one of those COM ports. The reason they had to go with 2 different serial cards is when they put 2 of them in, it just duplicated the ports. It went, you have 2 COM3s, 2 COM4s,
Yes.
and they went, oh, that's no good. So they pulled out one of those and put in the digicard, and you could reassign the base COM ports. So they said, all right, if this 8-port card is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then we'll make the digi start at 11 and make it 11, 12, 13, 14. They got all this working, and they got 668 kbps out of it. And the minimum they needed was about 200 to
Wait, who
serve
were they
up
dialing up to?
Well, they were dialing into their Cisco VoIP box, which then turned around
Oh.
into the network connection.
Oh, okay. They were being their own ISP, so to speak.
Yeah. In fact, they said this is a very common configuration of what you'd find at a mom and pop ISP. Like, yes, it is, including the RJ45s. It was like you see the orange and the orange white, just 2 wires. They weren't even sheathed or anything. It was just really janky all over the place. And this stack of modems looks like it's about to tip over because it's sitting right on top of this mini tower PC.
Yeah.
It was beautiful when the modems start connecting and they get more than 56K out of one modem. The guy goes, oh, it's working. You can just sense the excitement. They said, we're not sure if anybody's ever done anything like this. There's no Guinness World Book of Records, but we think we got it now.
That's actually probably, I would say that's probably pretty close. I may have done this once
I've never bonded more than one modem together.
I mean, I've only done the two, because I have my own ISP. That's what I
Yeah.
just, and I think I was playing around with this once because I had forgotten about the bonded point to point. That's
I
pretty
like
cool
this
though.
part is encouragingly, the official MPP standard doesn't highlight any practical limits. Like, well, let's find out if there are any.
52 serial ports and modems.
If you can get enough that don't conflict with each other, have at it. So 668K is what they got out of this thing. That's not quite 1 megabit, but
Mhm.
uh pretty decent for a bunch of modems.
Hey, I wish I had a picture of. I wish I had a. I'm sure I've got one somewhere. But when we first opened my ISP, I had a rack, like a shelf, just a shelf,
Yep.
and they were external modems coming off our little concentrator, and they were just, what modems were there? They were external modems, and say maybe like 30 or 40 of them, and all the green
Yeah.
lights on the front
Yep.
going. Yeah, it was kind of fun to see, but it was a mess with the cables in the back. And then later
Yep.
on, we got like a digital, what do you call it? It had digital modems in it, and people would call in, and I had an ISDN line, or they would call in T1, and that went out to the internet. So it was pretty cool.
So we encourage you to go check that out if you have any interest in the old dial-up days. We're at chuckchat.com. Click on Technorama, go into episode 784. You can find that story in the Hacks and Strange Stories.
Hey,
There
the title said enthusiasts bond 12. I was like, who's an enthusiast for dial-up? I don't know.
It
I was
started with
happy
a
when
question.
I'd have to screw with that anymore.
Could you watch YouTube over dial-up? That's all they asked.
Yeah, but if you want a slideshow.
All right, quick shout out to the chat room. We got Gary Lindros and Mike Robinson. We're hanging out with us, at least for a while. We'd love to see you on Sunday nights at 8:30 Eastern time. If you want to, go over to chuckchat.com, subscribe to our YouTube channel or Facebook page and get notified when we do the show. Love to see you there.
What was Mike saying?
Still waiting
Oh.
to hear news about Grumpy and Sleepy. Something about the dwarves? Oh,
Oh,
dwarf planets we were talking
the
about.
dwarf.
Very good.
We're having to decode the jokes here.
Very good. Yeah, not in real time. Asynchronous communications. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
All right, quick thank you to our patrons. These are the people that keep the show going, making it financially possible. These are people just like you. They put their pants on one leg at a time. They write their code one line at a time and debug. Well, same way we do. You pull your hair out and you bang your head against the wall.
That's how I learned.
Go for a walk and maybe it'll fix itself. Thank you to Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Abner Braverman. Into the B's, we have Ben Vaughn, Brad Miller, Brian Brown. For the C's, Chris Martinez, Chris MC. D stands for Dan D-Man Coyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis. Jumping ahead a bit in the alphabet, Gary Lindros, Jason Pollard, John Clifford, John Noble, Jorga Schrauen, Crazy Joe, Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Guilfoyle, Mike Wills, Saturday Morning Media, Stephen Weshy, Steve Cody, Steve Theory, Steve Webb, Steve London, Sylvain Racico, and Tim Cook.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody who has signed up. They went over to patreon.com/Technorama podcast, just like it says on the bottom of the screen, or will soon. You ought to hear that music. He's typing down in what shows have you watched. No, we need the title for the Patreon on the
I'm pulling
screen.
it up.
When you hear the music, jump on the title.
Don't
At
start.
784 shows, people. We're still at it. All right. Now you can keep typing what shows you're watching.
I was trying to finish my thought.
Thank you, everybody. You should have finished the thought before the show started.
I just thought about it.
You see what I have to work with?
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for your support. For as little as $1 show, they get their name read out on the air. They get a special episode, which we record right after this. They get that released on Mondays in a special RSS feed. So you never know what happens in that green room back there. That's where we have these discussions. Backstage pass. That's what we ought to call that. Our Technorama backstage pass. And postcards. And some levels you get a t-shirt too. So lots to
We'll
check
clothe
out.
you. We will clothe you.
In postcards?
T-shirts.
All right. Let's shenan again. Then where are we? We're on the part of the show where we talk about what we've been reading, watching, listening to, or people we've talked to. Why don't
Right.
you go ahead and get started.
All right. Well, I've only got a couple of things, and I think we're both watching or listening to it. Is Star Trek Con. This is I'm not going to say too much of it because it just really got started. I think there's 3 episodes out now, and it kind of fills in. Yeah,
So I had to play that one since it's right there.
yeah. Obviously, it's about Khan Noonien Singh, and dare I say the time frame that it's in. I don't think I want to say that either, but the voice acting is great. We're going to be reviewing this on The Topic is Trek, so be sure to subscribe to our other podcast. But I'm enjoying this so far. Again, the voice acting is really good. I forget the gentleman's names who's playing Khan, but he's doing a good job.
He does a
with it.
pretty good job. Yep.
Yeah.
It's not Ricardo Montalban, and he
No.
doesn't try to do the
I don't think it has to be, but it has
Ricardo accent. It's more of a British accent, which I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. And yeah, it's very enjoyable. And if you're a longtime Trek fan, and I think you're going to like it.
Couple of celebrity voices in there. Tim Russ as Tuvok. He makes an
Mhm.
appearance here and there, as does
Oh, my mind went blank.
George Takei.
George Takei. And who else was the other one? Let's see. I'll tell you real quick. Ugh, no, it won't come up with. Never mind.
You're right. I
Anyway.
said that. It is Takei. I learned it the wrong way, and I can't seem to unprogram my brain. It is Takei.
Yeah, that it's hard to say.
I've heard
sometimes.
him say it because he said in Japanese the E is an eh sound. So there's no way it could be Takei. It's Takei. I mean, it could be Takai. See? Fail on all levels. All right, what else you got?
Also, Kim and I are still watching Only Murders in the Building. That's about halfway through, I think, season now, and it is hilariously enjoyable. You know, watching Martin Short and Steve Martin together in itself is a treat. But yeah, all of the whole show's good. So
Donna's been watching that. Yeah, very good stuff.
Mhm.
All right, I just finished up another one last night, but I left it off the list. I'll leave it for next week. See if we can
Oh,
get-
did
'cause
you
I-
not put something on the list you need to put on it now?
No, I purposely left it off the list so we don't
Okay.
take 20 more minutes tonight.
Oh,
I'm
why not?
conscious of the
The
show run time.
podcast. Come on.
We don't want to ask our friends and neighbors and listeners for 4 hours of their time. I don't
Mhm.
listen to 4-hour podcasts, and neither should you.
No, I usually stick to about an hour or less.
Yeah, even an hour is starting to get questionable in my book. It better be really good content, which may explain why nobody's listening to us.
Yeah. Right.
First one I've got is a movie that I watched on YouTube called Infinitum: Subject Unknown. This is a couple of big names in this one, including Ian McKellen.
Okay.
And they give this intro that says we're doing these basically psych experiments, and you follow this lady through it almost feels like a time loop thing. She wakes up in this attic, she's tied to a chair, gag in her mouth, and has to work her way out of this room. But every time she runs into a new obstacle, it's like it resets. You see her in this chair at least
This
a
escape
dozen
room
times.
sucks.
It's an escape room that keeps resetting.
Right.
And she gets a little further and a little further and a little further. Finally, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it's a psych experiment.
Okay.
So it's fun to follow along and watch her and go through this and go, "Oh, what did she just see what we think she saw?" And yeah, it's not the fastest paced thing, obviously, because it keeps resetting. And you're like, and you can feel her frustration.
Right.
But fortunately, they don't go through all of the activities again in real time. It's like, oh, so it's more of a montage to get you back to where the new material is. On Netflix, watched Kunk on Life. So that's the comedian. I can't remember her real name, but she comes across as, what is it, Pamela Kunk or Philomena
Philippa.
Kunk? And she did Kunk on the World before, and now
Yeah.
she's going
Or
through
Kunk on Earth.
Kunk on Earth. That's what the other one was. Kunk on
Yeah.
Earth. And started watching that one and I realized, oh wait, check out the episodes list. They're all have the red line on them. Go, we watched this before, but we didn't watch
Yeah.
Kunk on Life. So a lot of interesting stuff in there about humans, and of course, she's talking to real scientists
Yeah.
and asking them idiotic questions. I think it was
Yeah.
Ryan Cox from CERN that discovered the Higgs boson particle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's calling it like the Higgs bosom, and
Yeah. Yeah. She
so
did that on the Kunk on Earth, and I was dying laughing because
yeah,
she had made these blunt observations that were wrong or weird about something that happened, and she's literally asking the historians and uh, professors that she's interviewing, and they have that. You really asked?
did you
me
really
that?
ask me that? Yeah, she even asked Brian at one point. She says, "Am I wasting your time?" And he goes, "Yeah."
Yeah, that's right.
there,
Yeah.
there was another one. She says, "Is my hair made out of atoms?" Yes. Are my eyes made out of atoms? Yes. And he says, let me just stop you right there. Everything about you is made up of atoms. Because even my thoughts, like, oh snap.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Whoever wrote this stuff is brilliant. And I don't
Yeah.
know if they catch these real scientists off guard, or is this candid, or they know it's scripted as well. It feels candid, but how
Yeah.
they aren't busting out laughing or just getting up and walking out, I don't know. But that's
Yeah.
the beauty of this show, Kunk on Life. I also got a chance to watch Beetlejuice on Netflix.
Yeah.
Follow up from the original. I thought that was pretty good. I thought
It
it was,
was.
you know, um,
I enjoyed it.
Winona did a great job reprising her role uh, as Lydia. She looked the part. She sounded the part.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you kind of get what her daughter is doing and or not doing. So you felt the family tension there. Still trying to figure out how. What was the dad's name? The one that got the one that died. They didn't
Oh,
show. Um,
um,
Jerry. Anyway, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie yet after a year, he's bit by a shark, so his dead corpse in the afterworld is walking around with this big chomp out between his shoulders, big
yeah.
U shape, and is squirting
Oh,
blood.
Charles Dietz.
Somehow
Charles
Charles
Dietz.
can talk.
Yeah.
Somehow he can talk. But it's a fun movie. And the protagonist, what was her name? Beetlejuice's ex-wife.
Yeah.
She did a great job. I thought the makeup on that was phenomenal. With the staples all over the place and the effect of
Yes.
putting her back together. That was fun to watch. Didn't really appreciate the fact that Danny DeVito had to die, but I like
Yeah.
him. And
Yeah.
or Bob. Bob. also-
Bob.
There was a guy dressed up as Bob on the Star Trek cruise.
Yeah, there was. Oh, that's right. There was.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of our friends, he opens up his chest and he goes, "Chuck, it's me." That's all I can think of when I'm seeing Bob in the yellow suit running around.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Final one I watched was an interesting one. I don't know why I decided to watch this. It's called Adolescence. It's on Netflix. I think
Yeah,
it's
you
four
obviously
parts.
passed adolescence. So
It's the story. It opens up with it's set in somewhere in Britain, UK. I don't know exactly where. They don't say. But the police bust down the door of this house and arrest a 13-year-old accused of murder. And he's like, "What? What's going on?" And the parents are like, "What? What?" So it's mom, dad, teenage daughter, and 13-year-old son. And 13-year-old son gets hauled away to jail, and it's really heart wrenching at times. Uh, fascinating part about this, and it took me part of the way through episode 1 to figure this out. They do every episode in one shot. There's no cuts.
Really?
And they go in some really, they'll be following one person around, have the conversation in the room. Then as they walk out, they'll be in the hallway and track another person to their conversation. There's even one part where I think they walk out of the school, the cameraman walks out of the school, and then it turns into drone footage and goes about a mile into a parking lot and ends in a close-up shot with the dad at the murder scene. How? There's one, I think it was episode 3 where you're following the family. No, it's the last episode. You're following the family along. They're at home. It's his birthday. It's like dad's 50th birthday. And they're tracking around the house with the various conversations. They all get in the vehicle, and somehow the camera is mounted on the hood of their minivan, I guess, and follows them to the DIY store where he picks up some stuff. So you're following him around the store. Then it comes back, and the cameraman's in the back of the van. Like, how? They must have had like a chair mounted to the front of that van, because it wasn't. It was just phenomenal camera work. Phenomenal camera work.
It says that Adolescence is a limited Netflix series shot in a continuous single take for each of its 4 episodes.
That
A
means you have to have
technique-
every actor doing their lines and actions perfect every time.
Yeah. He says a technique director Philip Bartani or Barantini, there we go, used to create an intense real-time viewing experience that immerses the audience in the unfolding mystery of a 13-year-old boy's potential involvement in a classmate's murder. Wow.
The only thing that bothered me about this was the actual quote unquote investigation, because the first episode takes place, in the first hour. He's arrested. Literally, when they get to the police station, they say he's been in our custody for about 25 minutes ago. You can look at your watch and go, yeah, that's when it's 25 minutes past the time I started. The next one is a few days later, then a few months later, and then like 13 months later at the very end. But the only thing I didn't care for was the boy is constantly saying, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. But you never really hear a story. He was there. They have video footage. What's your story? If you didn't do it, explain. What's your story? They never really got into that. That kind of bothered me. Like, it feels kind of one-sided being
As part of an investigation, you're not listening to what's being said, by the kid. Wow.
I don't know. But it was fascinating to watch, just from the cinematic perspective. The story had a few holes in it, in my opinion. The acting was really good because, like I say, you have to get every actor to nail their lines and the timing every time. I can just see somebody off camera, pushing people into the set, go now. The camera's going to follow you.
Yeah, it's about doing a play, but with a camera following you around.
But great. And the audio was good. Where's that? I don't see a shadow of a boom mic or anything, no shadow of a drone. I was looking for these things going, sooner or later, they're going to give away a clue, like a reflection of a camera. Nope.
It was digital.
Really well, maybe it was really done. So Adolescence on Netflix. That's my pick of the week, if you wish, which brings us to the end of the show. We have our question for you, which we'll put on social media in a few days. If you had to permanently give up one category of modern technology, which one would you ditch and why? What kind of category are you looking for? Like mobile phone or just social media or
mobile phone? I don't know. Fire. I don't know.
Paper and pencil? Fire.
Yeah.
I don't use fire too much anymore.
Yeah. Anything like that. Any category. I'll just leave it open.
Smoking because I don't smoke. How's that?
Okay. Vaping. That's modern. Smoking is not.
Don't give up the toothbrush, please.
Yeah. No. I mean, yes.
All right.
Social media.
This would be interesting. I think most people are going to say social media.
I could probably live without it. I've had fun with it in the past, but not much anymore. When Twitter was new, that was fun.
I mean, in some cases, it's the only way I have to reach people. today was somebody's birthday. It was our flower girl's birthday from her wedding, or from our wedding.
Mhm.
And she was 4 at the time, which means she's now 41.
Right?
Happy birthday, Deanna.
Yeah. I mean, it has a place for a few things, but I could do without it.
Yep. Yeah. Don't let it rule your life. That's all I got to say. Okay. We're going to record our Patreon show in just a little bit. But before we head out of here, we have just a few sage words of wisdom. I know we've probably said these every time.
Oh,
If
yeah?
you want to
What's
get in touch with us, call us on the listener line 707-530-2428. We'd love to hear from you. If you're in another country, put a +1 in front of that. You're good. 707-530-chat. If you want to email us, which many of you do, some of you have tried, technorama@chuckchat.com. That goes to both of us. We'd love to hear from you. You can also find us on social media platforms, as we just derided.
Right.
Search for Technorama Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. We're probably out there. Love to hear from you there as well. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we hope to see you again next time. Until then, take care, stay safe. And Craig's going to give us a binary high five.
All right. 101.
Thanks, everybody. Bye. Audio recording concluded.
There we go.
58 minutes and some change.
See, it was simple.
Well
easy.
oiled machine. That was easy. Focus, my friend. Focus. Okie doke. We're going to stop the video stream now and go record our Patreon show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it and hope to see you again real soon. You know, not every episode can be Adam Savage. Sometimes you just get us.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, everybody.